I'd love to share a Vort with you from the Ben Ish Chai on the Megillah Esther that I believe we could use to improve our lives. We overhear a conversation between Haman and his wife. And this is at a point in Haman's life when everything is going good for him. He has prestige, he has wealth, and yet he turns around to his wife and he says, V'chol zeh einenu shoyveh li. All this is worthless to me. Why? Because I see that Jew Mordechai refuses to bow down to me. That's a simple understanding of the pasuk. But says the Ben Ish Chai in his Perush on Megillah Esther called Keren Yeshua, he says a different understanding of how to read that phrase. And he says this is how it should be read. V'chol zeh einenu, comma, because shoyveli. Everything I have is einenu, is worthless. Why? Because in the stars I have seen that Mordechai and I have the same gematria, have the same numerical value. That's what shoyveli means. We are equal in numerical value. Now, if you take the numerical value of Haman, which is 95, it's nowhere near the gematria of Mordechai, which is 274. So Haman does a little head scratching and he takes a manuscript and he takes a quill and he starts working it out. What do the stars mean that Mordechai and I are equal? Until he figured it out and he had a rude awakening. He realized that if he adds the word Arur, to be cursed, to his name, and at the same time add the word Baruch to Mordechai's name, then they both have the same gematria of 502. And it was at that point that Haman has this epiphany that he realizes that he is cursed, whereas Mordechai is the blessed one. And he rules this situation and he says to his wife, everything I have is worthless because the stars have told me, shoyveli, that not only am I cursed, but my arch enemy is the blessed one. This is, I believe, one of the tricks of going through life. We're on this world together with many people. We shop in the same stores. We wear the same clothes. We buy the same glasses. There's a lot of equality between us and the Ummah Sa'ila. But we desperately want that to be annexed to our names should be the word Baruch. And the way to do that is, what do I do with my life? Do I spend my life pursuing liberty and happiness and really having no purpose other than enjoying this finite world, but I don't build up a portfolio of nitzchias, of eternity? That is not blessed. That is cursed. That's being like a hamster on a hamster wheel. No purpose. Total waste of time. A Jew wants to be Baruch, wants to be blessed. We get up in the morning with a purpose to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to be Baalei Chesed and Baalei Tzedakah. That is an opportunity we have to get a sticker next to our name, and that sticker is called Baruch. I had this epiphany that Haman had in the Megillah. Here in New York, we're in the middle of a pattern of snowstorms. And I remember around 15 to 20 years ago, there was a massive snowstorm here in Far Rockaway. Over a foot of snow fell. And that night I wanted to go to Mariv. So I had to go out, put my coat on, put my gloves on and take my shovel. And I had to shovel my driveway to get my car out. It was not an easy job. It took me 45 minutes to an hour to get that driveway clear so I could get my car out. As I'm in my driveway, I realized that in the driveway next to me, the homeowner is also shoveling his driveway. Now, the next door neighbor was not Jewish. He was a tall, gentleman. I called him Big Louie. He came from the Caribbean islands. And I couldn't work out, why is Louis so desperately shoveling his driveway at that time of night? Louis was a 9-to-5 man. He had nowhere to go that time of night, but not my business. So I held my tongue, I said hello, and we continued side by side, in tandem, both shoveling driveways. But then the curiosity got the better of me. And I said to him, I said, Louis, I said, can I ask you, where are you going this time of night? And he said to me something, which I'll never forget. He said, I've got to go and do my numbers. I asked him what he meant by that. And he said he had to go to the local deli and buy his lottery ticket. He had a whole list of numbers that he presented. That was his evening constitutional, to buy his lottery tickets. And it was Yehorek Val Yaver. He couldn't miss a night. And that was why he was shoveling his driveway. And as I was standing in my driveway, that's when I had that same epiphany of Haman. I realized how blessed that I was. Because even though I'm doing the same thing as my neighbor, putting in the same effort, the same elbow grease, I was doing it for a blessed reason, to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And I've been carrying that with me all the time, to try in a situation to make sure that I always annex the word Baruch together with whatever Hashem throws my way. This last year, for example, it's been a complete year since this pandemic of COVID-19 began. How does one handle a pandemic? The default is it's a curse. It's an horror. The world is being cursed. The world is compromised. And that is one way to look at it legitimately. I can't go where I normally go. I can't do what I normally do. And I can become sullen and morose and agitated. That's not a blessed way of reacting. There's an opportunity, even in a pandemic, to make it a blessed experience. I can appreciate HaKadosh Baruch Hu more. I can daven to him better because I need him more than ever. I can use this opportunity to appreciate my family more, who I spent more time with. I can use this as a springboard to do more chesed in my life, because there's so many more people that need a helping hand or need a kind word. This is an opportunity to take something that is oror by so many people and make it into Baruch. That's the lesson of the Megillah. That there are annexes to situations and annexes to our names. The choice is ours. Do we want it to be chas v'shalom, a negative annex, or do we want it to be Baruch, to feel blessed, to feel lucky? That is one of the many messages of the Megillah Esther. I want to wish all of us that in all situations that we go through, we should be able to be enthused and to be elevated by the opportunities that every situation uniquely offers us. And with that, we can firmly say that we are Baruch. Have a freilichen Purim.